Hey everybody, Scratching In. I'm back today with Crosswords on Sunday. Today I've got two of the $10 VIPs, 31, 32. Let's see how we can do. Do 31 first. Alright, let's get these letters all scratched off. See what we got and don't have. Alright. We have an A, no E. We have an S, a T, an R. Alright, no L, no N, and no E. Alright, climb. No L. And no N. No E. Ruby. R-U-B. No Y. Flamingo. No F. No E. Lunch. No N. Yarn. No N. No E. E. Mammal. Well, we don't have M-A-M-M-A-L. We have that one. Okay. No E. Trophy. T-R-O. No Y. No E. Nab. No N. E. Nothing else. Alright, let's go. No E. E. Auto. A-U-T-O. We have auto. Owl. O. No W. E. Narrow. No N. No E. No N. E. Instinct. I. No N. N. E. Soil. S-O-I-L. We have that one. No. Alright, no win. Let's see if we can get a bonus. Nope. Alright, that one's a loser. Alright, let's go with the second one. Alright. A, no E. We have an I, O, and a U, a S, a L, a T, no R, and no E. Alright. Scrub. S-C-R, no R. Okay. Mascot. M-A-S-C-O-T. We have mascot. No E. Wrap. No R. No R. V. No E. Iris. No R. E. Tuition. No N. E. N. S-T-A. No E. E. Buy. B-U-Y. We have buy. Scar. S. No R. E. P. L. Y. We have a win on this one. Alright. Staple. Alright, we have a win right there. $10 so far. Alright. E. Fort. F-O. Oh, we don't have an R. Kit. No K. Tycoon. T. Y. Alright, we don't have an N. Wait, we did have a W. That was on another one. Never mind. Alright, wobble. W-O. We don't have an E. W-I. No N. N. E. Myth. M-Y-T-H. We have myth. Group. G. No R. Ink. No N. T-U-G. T-U-G. We have at least a $20 win. Thank. Alright. Tug. No N. E. R. R. E. Inch. No N. No N. Dip. No D. No E. No N. Okay, looks like we got a $20 winner. This looks like a break-even session, y'all. Thanks for watching.